what are my labs after 8 years of carnivore? Well, I will tell you, I used it a small amount of just labs I can do at home. I'm using this device here. It's called a ForaCare multi-device read 0.2 millimolar, which would be considered outside the range of nutritional ketosis. Normally you want to see something like 0.5. Some people will say 0.3. Nonetheless, often I hear people saying a carnivore diet is always ketogenic, and that's really not the case. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. It depends a little bit on how many ketones you're producing, but well within the range of normal. And despite the fact that I eat multiple pounds of red meat a day and have been doing so for years, in cholesterol, my total cholesterol was 270 milligrams per deciliter.
That is very, very high. That's about 150 points above what it should be.
That is considered high. Most folks would consider anything over 200. Some say 190 would be considered high. Now, my cholesterol typically runs, 220-ish, 230, something like that. I'd say that would be more of an average for me. The reason it is probably a little higher today is primarily because I'm leaning out. And as I get leaner and leaner and leaner, as I will over the coming next year or so, as my goals are to get down to about the 240, 235 range so I can be a better sprinter and jumper, I expect my cholesterol will probably go higher. And that's consistent with the so-called
weight loss should lower your cholesterol.
lipid energy model.
So this idiot doesn't know what the lipid energy model is. It's this idea that there's a specific phenotype that more readily uses cholesterol molecules for energy. So if they're lean and they're on a low carbohydrate diet, their cholesterol increases due to them using fat more readily as an energy source. It's very rare. Most people do not have that phenotype. So no, vast majority of people, if they lose weight, their cholesterol is going to go down.
This lipid energy model states that as you are low carb and you get leaner and leaner, you will just traffic more fat to supply the energy needs of your cell. It's perfectly consistent with what we know about human metabolism, or at least we're learning about that. The question is it inherently increasing?
Like, this is just insane, retarded nonsense. You can look at any weight loss study, pretty much universally, when people lose weight, their cholesterol goes down. The only settings where that doesn't always happen is with ketogenic diets that are high in saturated fat. Oftentimes, cholesterol just stays the same. So it doesn't increase, it stays the same. And that's just because of increased saturated fat intake. And you do occasionally see that with fasting studies. So with prolonged water fasting, that's an extreme kind of scenario where the lipid energy model might make sense for an average person because they're literally not eating anything. So they can't get any carbohydrates because, again, they're not eating anything. And sometimes you do see cholesterol increase in those scenarios. But yeah, what he's talking about is just pure nonsense. Just a complete ignoramus.
Unhealthy. That, in my view, is still an unknown factor. Now we have more and more information. I know that Matt Budoff's research, the 1 year data was pretty compelling, or the baseline data was pretty compelling. The 1 year data has been submitted for publication. I don't have access to that data, but my friend Nick Norwitz, who is on that paper, says don't get too worried, and the trade-off may be worse. Just